Welcome to the Lisa Baxter Show. And today the show is about what you can learn from some people. And today I got a great guest, great couple together, the Johnsons. Wilmore Johnson and Aletha Johnson. Pastor Johnson, I know her as well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you guys here.
We're glad to be here.
Y'all looking good. Y'all looking good. Okay. We'll just jump right into the questions.
Okay.
And take your time.
Okay.
How long have you been married?
We'll be married 40 years in July.
40 years?
40.
That's beautiful. My hat off to you. My glasses off to you.
Your earrings and everything.
Oh yeah, chip. That is wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Congratulations. That's a beautiful example and testament to some couples, especially couples that's dealing with kidney disease or a couple that's just dealing with anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you stand the test of time. So I my hat again off to you. A million blessings.
Thank you.
Now, 40 years, boy, I haven't even catched up to 40. I'm trying to still get to the 20. No, 40, whoa. Okay, now, how did you find out, Mr. Johnson, how did you find out that you had kidney failure?
Well, maybe about 7, 8 years ago, I started getting sick, back and forth to the hospital, spending much time in the hospital. Test after test after test. It took the doctors approximately 4 to 5 years to determine that I had kidney failure.
Wow. And, okay. How did you tell your family, and how did you tell your friends? Because I know that was hard with me, but I was able to do it, but how did you feel it?
We the doctor together, we told us, we told
At the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. It just was a constant going in the hospital, coming out the hospital, going in the hospital, coming out the hospital. Every holiday he was in the hospital, you know, and so we just didn't know what was going on. So finally when they did come to the conclusion and saying your kidney, the count is very low, it's going 25%.
What, the creatinine?
Yeah.
Okay.
And finally, the kidney doctor said, you know, I'm trying to not put you on dialysis. I'm trying to save you as much as, you know, I
save
can.
that function.
Yeah. And it took its toll, and he had to
Got some worries, then found I had to do the dialysis thing.
Okay, so from the time he told you about it, from the time you actually went on, since he tried to save some of the function, how long was that period? Would you say, or if you remember?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. You're not going to remember
I
what
would
I
say,
That's a wife.
I would say about a year.
Okay.
I would say about a year. He held out about a year.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I know when they was trying to prevent me from going on, they stopped how much meat I would eat, even though I didn't like meat hardly anyway. They had to slow down how much meat. I think they gave me like maybe 3 ounces or less of meat to have, you know, as one of my portions, you know. So I remember that, you know. So
They never changed my diet.
They never changed his diet.
No?
Never.
I had a nutritionist before I got on, and I got a nutritionist when I got on. And the two diets were so totally different. I got used to not having so much meat. When I got on dialysis, they just keep giving me 8 ounces. I'm like, 8 ounces of meat? I can't eat that much meat. You know, but you need protein. So
the protein.
yeah, so wow. So well, your wife was with you, but how did your children or grandchildren deal with it or take it, or, you know?
They accepted it.
Okay.
Everybody accepted it.
Were they worried about you? Were they afraid for you?
They always worried about me. Always.
They love you. That's good. That's nice. That's what makes this a whole lot easier and better sometimes to deal with, that you have family, or you have a loving family, or a family that's, you know, behind you. or even understand.
Right.
Wow, wow. That's deep. Okay. How have this affected your marriage? Would you say?
What I say?
I'll go with you first.
I would say it affects my marriage because to me, dialysis, your mood changes.
Okay.
He has some mood changes.
Mm-hmm.
We were travelers.
Yeah, me
We
too.
were travelers. We've been on about 12 cruises, and
Ooh.
we would go to
Europe.
We've been to Europe and Hawaii twice, and just a
Wow.
lot of places
What?
that we just were travelers. And one of the things that we cannot do anymore, like we used to do, is the way we travel, our vacation.
You mean as often?
We don't because we can go, but wherever we go, we have to make sure there's a dialysis center there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you do.
So, in cruising, you're going out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not sure how that's going to work. You know.
Yeah.
And
I do.
so
I
and
actually
then going into somewhere that's out of the country, we don't know what they do, how they do. You know, we just
Okay,
and
okay.
so
Okay. All right. Now, I feel you with that. I understand that because I was a traveler before I got married, and I was a traveler when I got married, and dialysis slowed that down.
Yeah.
But I haven't let it prevent me from traveling because, I guess because I'm a social worker, and it's a social worker job at the center to plan the things with your trip. You don't really need that headache yourself, even though you can do it as a patient. But you don't really need that headache. He's supposed to know if you said, I'm going to Canada, because I went on a cruise and I had to get off the boat to get dialysis. They got a dialysis boat now, but then when I went, they didn't have no dialysis boat, so I got off the boat and went. And when I went, it was so far away from the boat, they told me they would leave me.
You ain't back in time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So what happened is when it's an emergency like that, you go to the hospital. When all else fail, a hospital will always take you.
I
So
know.
when I fly or go somewhere and anything happen like that, I go to the hospital. But usually I have all of that done before I go because they need tests to be done. Make sure they have a spot for you in the place, you know, near the hotel or near wherever your bungalow, wherever you staying, you know. So they gotta, you know.
Well, we go in places, but
It's just not the same.
places like I want to really go again. You know, what is the name of the place that you have to go to every time that you we go away? You make arrangements.
Dollars in what particular town I'm in.
What's the name of it?
Davita.
Davita.
Oh, Davita.
Yeah.
I know Davita for
He goes there
Mhm.
when we go.
Yeah, everywhere.
My family.
Oh, they are. They truly are.
My family's in Colorado. My my son. So we usually set that up before we go. Wherever we go, we usually set it up, or we take weekend trips that does
you don't
not
have to-
interfere
Right.
with the dialysis.
Yeah.
You know, to go on a dialysis cruise now, it's about $5,000 to $6,000.
Oh, it's expensive.
For me.
I'd rather jump off the boat and go get my treatment and come back on. You know?
Yeah,
Depends on where you are.
it depends on where you are. You said you went to Canada.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Canada.
Yeah.
I want to go some nice hot place where the beach is.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, well, Canada was good.
I'm not saying.
I mean, it was good. I mean, I've been to the Bahamas. I fly all over the place, but I don't know why we went there, but we was there.
And that's how
where it went, yeah, at the time.
Because probably if we decided, for instance, if we wanted to go to the Bahamas, I think because there are hospitals there, I would trust that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would trust that. There's certain things I don't trust.
Everywhere.
No, I don't.
Well, some of the that's a whole different show where some of the places aren't fit to do the dialysis, but they've been doing it, and people have been sick or dying and stuff like that. The water isn't good, so I understand that. And I had some reports came back to me about things like that. So I don't visit though over there.
Yeah.
Or I'm not having no treatment over
Right.
there. If I'm going, I must be staying 2 days. 'Cause
Right.
I got to run back.
Right.
You know, or
Right.
drink very little.
Yeah.
You know. So, but let me see now. Let's see. Your marriage. Okay. How do you deal with it? I'll talk to both of you on that angle. How do you deal with it? And then I'll ask you another question because it's a double question.
How do I deal with it?
Yes.
I couldn't determine it myself. I have to accept what state I'm in now.
Okay.
Whatever state I'm in, I got to be content with it
Okay.
until such a time as it changes. Until my feeling is that I'm saved,
Amen.
and being saved, you have to depend on God for everything.
Ooh,
God,
you never lie.
where He wants to deliver, He shall deliver.
Yes.
Deliverance is in His hand, not my hand. Just turn it over to Him,
Yes.
and He's the deliverer. That's
That's
all He
true.
can do. Give it over to Him in His time.
That's why I'm able to go, or how I'm able to go.
Yeah.
Because I you know, sometimes I get tired of being on the machine.
Oh,
Sometimes
please.
I'm tired of the needles, or I don't want nobody talking to me all the time or bothering me. And I can see why your attitude or something would change, because you don't really take it out on the person. You don't even know what to do. My husband say I don't do that much to him, but I go for walks. I pray. I dance. I like music. I have to have a hobby or be busy or something to keep me so much into this. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's helpful.
You know, sometimes you just got to
What
put the
about you?
dialysis nurses in their places.
Oh, you ain't never lied about that. I ain't mad at you.
All right.
I ain't mad at you. What about you?
Well, and the question was,
How you deal with
how
it?
do I deal? I just deal. I mean, as a wife, how do I deal?
Yes, as a wife.
I deal with it. I don't treat him any different.
That's nice.
But I deal with the mood swings as they come, but I know what they are, and you just deal with it. You deal with it. The Bible says live with each other according to knowledge.
Oh, yeah. I knew that's
And
right.
so you have to know what's going on. Okay, this is going on. Why is this going on? Why is he he had dialysis today, so let him just rest it out.
Maybe
And
tired,
then-
maybe slow,
Absolutely.
maybe,
Because he has a routine.
yeah.
He has dialysis, he comes home, he goes to sleep, wakes up, then he eats, and then he goes back to sleep. And he can lay down most of the day, And so until he's, comes back to himself. So,
Yeah.
and so I know the routine.
Yeah.
You just deal with it. God gives you the strength
Yes.
to
Yes.
deal with it.
Okay,
That's how you do it.
that's all right.
Basically, that's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Mhm.
God gives us
You
the
just-
strength to.
Because there's sickness and health. And sickness and health, boy, when you really have to live those vows, you got to live them. You say them, you mean them, or you meant them, or you try to mean them, and so He will give you the strength. So I know that personally myself. Now, what have you learned from him being on dialysis?
Well, I've learned patience. You've got the spouse has to have patience. There have to be patience. I've learned a lot of things about dialysis, in looking on the internet and looking at why this is this way and why is he taking this medicine or what it. They usually every time he would go to the doctor or have to go to the doctor, somebody would say, or other people would say, your husband's a diabetic, right? And I said, no, he's never been a diabetic.
That's what they said to me too.
Yeah.
When I mentioned dialysis, they said,
They
"You
say
diabetic?"
that's the first
I'm
thing
like,
they
"No,
say.
I'm not diabetic."
That's the first thing they say. So he's not diabetic. He eats regular. There's no
Special diet for him.
no, So I just handle it that way.
Okay.
I've had a normal marriage.
And you-
I don't make it like it's a It is a major thing, but you don't have to make it stand out as such a big deal because he's still
Who he was when you married him.
same stuff.
Yes,
Same
you go
person.
ahead now. I like that.